Live.
We're live.
Episode 4, Barstool TGIF. We got my guy, Clem. If you haven't watched the first 3 episodes, Clem and I came up with this brainstorm quarantine idea. Every Friday night, we're reliving TGIF. We're going through old 90s things. You've seen Rock and Jock. You've seen American Gladiators. You've seen Guts. Because we're not smart enough, I don't know why we didn't lead with the whole show name. We used to call this Barstool TGIF. So we're going with TGIF tonight. We got Captain Cons. We got Eddie. We got Carl out in Chicago. Fellas, how you boys doing?
I'm great.
We're good, man. We're doing good.
Connor.
You know, we're always mindful here because it's like, you
know.
Zoom's fucking weird that way. We're like, if everyone jumps at once, and you know what I mean? So, but I'm doing good.
Yes, no complaints here. I'd be honest with you guys. We got a great crew. You know, sometimes you throw 5 people in a Zoom. Maybe your Aunt Nancy, she's a little behind the times, or you know, you got like somebody's fucking girlfriend nobody really likes, but she's there and you're being nice because you know why the fuck not. I'm very confident in the crew we've assembled tonight. Quite a fucking dream team.
Not a whole lot of the wait. What'd you say? What'd you say? Can you repeat that one more time?
I think that the biggest compliment I can pay this group is not only am I going to enjoy the topic of conversation this evening, but this is a group I would love to just go to a bar with.
Yeah, I mean, listen, fellas. Ohio opens up Friday on the patio. If people want to convene halfway, let's go to a patio and
all right,
let's not up there.
Clem, pick me up. Let's go road trip, buddy.
I mean, I had Carl telling me through Twitter without actually adding me, saying, "Get a fucking beer in your hand, big fella." Like he told every single person, all the followers, get some fucking beer in 30 minutes, or else you were dead to the man. And you don't fuck with a man with a mustache like that. You don't
put your demands down. You know, if you don't make yourself clear, no one really knows. So I was just like, I know I've told people like, I hope everybody's having a good time and drinking, but then I was like, wait a second, I don't know if I really clearly communicated just how much I need people to be drinking. Let's take it one step further. 30 minutes or you're dead to me. That's it.
I mean, that's the perfect way to put it. If you don't put a time limit on it, people aren't going to listen to you. They think they have all night.
I'm concerned about Captain Cons, though. I mean,
oh yeah. So let's get this out in the open now. Cons has been drinking since what, noon?
All right. Yes.
You started the conversation with that con.
Hand up. I opened 2 bottles of wine at noon with large. I did not drink all of those 2 bottles at noon, though. So it's been just a steady stream throughout the day. There's been some breaks here and there. I'm loose and conversational. That's the fact. But I do not think we were going to get a No Quitters Christmas episode version of me.
Sounds like a liability, regardless.
Still an all-time podcast. Is that what first season No Quitters of Captain Cons on Christmas?
People don't realize that Big Cat was on that one, and he attributes all his success and part of my take to the one season or that one episode with Connor, I believe.
Yeah, you're welcome, Dan.
So obviously, this is a show, as we like to say, for olds by olds. It's like for the common man by the common man. We're all old. Eddie, I think you're the youngest one here, and you're what, 30, 31, somewhere in that age?
I'm 29.
Whoa!
Yeah, so I gotta be honest with you. I'm a little spotty on some of this. I went through the list and I was like, all right, I could definitely talk that. I could talk that, but I'm a little spotty on some of them. How old are you, Riggs?
I'm about to turn 33.
Okay. All right. So there might be some educating here. I hope. So, excuse me.
I see this as a positive because I think there's going to be some spots. There's some blind spots for when we were, getting a little older.
Yeah,
that might have been your wheelhouse. So I think at maybe the tail end of these TGIF runs or SNICK, that might have been when little Eddie was growing up and kind of just coming of age and saying, "Guys, this show was the fucking best." So
especially when Clem's 50, you need someone to help him to.
We're gonna age shame me now. God damn it! That's why I love having Large on Podfathers. I can always age shame him.
Yeah, I mean he's the old one. Obviously, like I said, we're doing TGIF. I mean, just look at the greatest intro, probably the most important 4 letters of our childhood, unless you want to throw in that E word.
Yeah, I mean, once BYOB and shit like that starts coming into life, it changes a little bit.
Right. But of a childhood.
Now, what did you guys thought it was? It Thank God It's Funny or Thank God It's Friday? I always thought it was Thank God It's Friday, but they tried to push the agenda of Thank God It's Funny. Do you remember that whole thing?
I always thought it was Thank God It's Friday.
Same.
Yeah, I think the general, like everyone said, was Thank God It's Friday. But then once they started talking to like some of the actors, or they doing like PR people got involved, they're like, hey, lay off the God, lay off the thank God's Friday. The other thing is I think there's trademark stuff going on. So they're like, oh, if we do like thank goodness it's funny, then we can trademark that, and then we can't get sued if someone else is like, Do you, by the way, does anybody like the restaurant TGI Fridays, and where does that rank in regards to like an Applebee's, a Chili's, and Outback? Eddie, I'll go to you.
Not good. I'm not a TGI Fridays guy. I got to be honest. I do wonder though. How old is TGI Fridays? Is there some cross branding here? Because I think I like TGI Fridays more watching this on Friday. You know what I mean?
I think they had inadvertent cross like promotion. Like they came out like the restaurant. I remember getting big in like the mid '90s, but that just might be when my memory starts.
They're all gimmick. TGI Fridays is all gimmicks. The restaurant. Clem, I'm curious on your take.
So I actually made a note of this. I was like, we have to bring this up at some point. I don't want to forget it. And my guy Carl brings it up in the first 10 minutes. That's why he's fucking here. The guy's a fucking content. He knows what the people want. I was not a fan of it. Whenever you go there hoping for like whatever your favorite is, an Applebee's experience, a Chili's, what have you. And every single time I was let down. Fun fact, Hank and I, 2 or 3 different nights in Latvia, out of like the 4 nights we were there, we ate at a TGI Fridays.
I mean, that's like fine dining out there, at least.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's just smart. If you're in Latvia, I think that's just a smart play to get something that you somewhat resembles what you know at home.
Could you figure out the menu? Was the menu in English or was it in Latvian?
Yeah, so the Latvia, the official language of Latvia is Latvian. Second is Russian because they just were owned by Russia, basically.
That's helpful.
English is a very close third, and they kind of learn all 3 in school. So it was in English and everything, like there's KFC signs. There's like in just some spots. So there are some parts where I felt at home. I will say this about TGI Fridays. I don't know if you boys agree or disagree here. I remember when the first time I saw like the mozzarella sticks, the potato skins that were in like the snack foods. You get them at the gas station or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, these guys changed the game. And they were terrible though. Just everything else TGI Fridays. And I was so excited that mozzarella stick had been brought into chip form, and it was so goddamn bad. So I have a little extra hate in my heart for TGI Fridays because of that.
Yeah, 4 potato skins for $6.99 at the Jewels in Chicago. Like, ain't cutting it, but like everyone has done it.
Yes.
So 100%. I think the restaurant TGI Fridays has been around since the 80s, because if you'll remember the Tom Cruise classic Cocktail, I think TGI Fridays was the first bar he worked at.
Ooh.
Well, when did Office Space come out? Because isn't Office Space just pretty much like the restaurant there based on TGI Fridays? With
Chili's.
Oh, it's Chili's. That's right.
Yeah.
Is it?
That's right.
TGI Fridays was founded in
Wait, Ed, is it?
No,
Ed,
it's definitely
did I get that
TGI.
wrong?
It's definitely TGI Fridays, right?
I don't know. I'm unsure, to be honest with you.
Or I thought it was like a rip on Bennigan's, which actually wasn't too bad.
Bennigan's, yeah.
Wow,
That's what I
Bennigan's.
thought too.
There's still like 6 Bennigans in the U.S., if you didn't know.
No, I didn't. That's awesome.
Wow.
Good for Bennigan's. Holding on.
Yeah.
All right, close your eyes, gun to head. I say TGIF show. What's the first one that comes to mind? Rapid fire.
Family Matters.
Wow. Oh, I think that's the Chicago bias.
That's a Chicago bias because I say Full House, but that's also just me being a dick to say
No,
to the Chicago guys for no good reason, I guess.
No, I'm gonna make my point quick and then jump out. My point for Family Matters is because it hit leadoff from like 93 to 98, and if you go and look through fall, winter, spring, they never change. They almost rarely change Family Matters out of the leadoff spot at 7 p.m. So as the anticipation builds, like Family Matters hits, opening intro, Urkel, boom, TGI Friday, I'm out.
So Carl's correct. From 91 to 97, Family Matters bat leadoff.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long run.
But I think Clem and I are showing our age. We say Full House because
Full House started as the leadoff hitter.
in 87. Yeah.
To me, it's Boy Meets World.
So it hurts me to say this, but I'm least familiar with Family Matters, and I know it's a Chicago show, but it's still Family Matters for me because all these other shows got repackaged as something else. Like Boy Meets World, I think Disney, Full House, I think it's just like a syndicated run, and then the same thing with Clueless. I think of the movie, you know what I mean? So when I think TGIF, I do think of Family Matters.
That's cool. I get why you think Disney for Boy Meets World, but it's crazy to think that at the same time. But like I know they put it all the rerun. It was like Seinfeld on TBS. Like there are definitely people that just think TBS for Seinfeld.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's my youth in a way.
Yeah, I think it's Boy Meets World for me.
I think overall, I think you say TGIF, I think Full House, but then I default to Boy Meets World because I think over the course of TGIF, Boy Meets World was probably my favorite show.
Yeah, that's one that probably holds up the most, right?
Well, I think if you were going to take one of these shows and then redo them today, kind of like, there's Modern Family. I think Full House was kind of like ahead of its time in that they were doing, 3 dudes raising 3 girls. That was unheard of in 1987 when they started.
Yeah. It's gotta be that.
Wait, there was one female involved in helping the raising. You forgot one of the most important people in the world, and Aunt Becky.
Yeah, well, you know what? Until Aunt Becky's cleared of all wrongdoing, I don't want to mention her.
Innocent until proven guilty.
We're gonna Lori Loughlin shame on this. I did not sign up for this, Reegs. I did not
sign up for Lori Loughlin shame.
No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Aunt Becky. She's an all time.
She's the GOAT. She's the GOAT. So now this is again showing my age here. Out of all these shows we have listed, and then you go down to Sabrina the Teenage Witch that came on later, my number one show is Perfect Strangers. Number one TV theme, number one favorite show out of all these shows. And Full House is probably number 2 out of all the shows, with Dinosaurs is 3. ABC was just pumping out nothing but hits back then, but Perfect Strangers was, just an unbelievable show. And I'm sure we'll get into the theme songs, which is a whole other discussion, which I think Family Matters could be number 1 for that. It could be number 4. That's the kind of depth we're dealing with here.
Real quick, wasn't Perfect Strangers also Chicago?
Yes. Chicago is like the sitcom central of the world. You guys are the sitcom.
What else is Chicago had?
Well, that's only because back in the day, you actually needed to signal broadcast it, right? Like you actually needed like a satellite, like you had to broadcast it out. So like if you were going to film it, you want to save some, coin, do it in Chicago. Cause then like the same thing, it's like a hub for railroads well into sitcoms starting in the mid 80s. So.
This is why I love the Chicago guys, because not only are they funny, they fucking always have the facts. Eddie's on No Quitters, and he just pops out fucking MTV facts right left and right. I'm like, how do you know this? And he's like, I don't know. Like, talked to a guy at a bar one night, and he told me, it's unbelievable. I fucking love it.
I think Roseanne is technically a Chicago show as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, yeah.
What are some other major Chicago ones? Like, I think even present day, like The League was obviously Chicago based. It just, if we're sticking to comedies.
Oh, well, obviously Shameless, although I'm not. Shameless. I just it's so funny. The way I feel about Shameless is I think the way someone who interned for the vice president would feel about Veep. Where you're like, all right, listen, it's great, it's funny, and I'm glad it's getting some face time and there's some entertaining elements, but just I take a little personal that Ed, am I wrong or I don't know?
No, you're right, and you're the South Sider, so you know the Canaryville area better than I do, but it's really funny, but I haven't known that to be completely the case of those kids.
Chicago,
yeah,
also,
it's not completely the case, but that's if you're gonna find a rough, tough family like that, it's not completely inaccurate in some respects.
Yeah.
Chicago also the home to all of the civil servant shows: Chicago Med, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire.
Oh, fuck those, dude! Fuck those, man!
Can't get enough of those.
I'm scared to bring these up.
And then there's 18
these up because what Carl's gonna say here. But you guys want some more? I got some more shows for you here. I just looked up TV comedies. These are just comedies. Bob Newhart Show. We have Punky Brewster. We have Keenan and Kel. This is a monster of one that is clearly Chicago. It's in the fucking opening. Married with Children.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So good.
According to Jim.
Yep.
Happy Endings. Whitney. I don't know what the hell is good and big these days. Mike and Molly. So Chicago's a beast. Chicago's an absolute beast. I think New York and LA obviously get a lot of the shine because they're the two on the coast. But Chicago has had some fucking heavy.
Let me tell you this though, Clem. This doesn't sit well with me at all. It's not a sitcom. But that motherfucker, Steve Wilkos, he cuts his chops being the security guard for Jerry Springer. He gets his own show and he moves it to Connecticut. That's fucked up.
It wasn't right. It wasn't right, Ed. It wasn't right. I apologize. I guess I'll take tri-state area heat for this one. I apologize for the tri-state area for that happening to Chicago.
So you mentioned theme songs. Before I get into theme songs, let me ask you guys this. Carl brought up a good point about Family Matters leading hit off. What it was lead off the most important spot for you, or is it like the I guess for us on the Eastern time zone, the 9 o'clock hole, the 3 spot?
I think it's you gotta lead off with, in this case, you don't wait for the 4 hole to bat your cleanup. You got to come out with the heavy hitter right out the gate, I think.
I think you're only as good as your leadoff hitter. And I do think that 8:30 or even I think when TGIF was humming at its best, it was the 9 o'clock guy that turned the lineup back over. Because you're young, you're fighting for bedtime with your parents. If it's kind of a weak show, your parents can sense they don't have the fight in them. They're going to go to bed now. If you stay up for that 9, you might get into that 9:30 show. If you fucking, brush your teeth, did all your homework on time, you might be able to have yourself a 10 o'clock night, which, I mean, that was the glory on the weekends, right? You make it to 10 o'clock. Oh, we got a pooch here, too. I love it.
Yeah, Scotty's in the house. Hey, I'm not trying to be like selfish or anything. I brought up Family Matters. Like, listen, guys, this is a reality. I never cared about the 7 p.m. or the 8 p.m. for you guys because it's such a slam dunk. It was almost like, hey, what'd you think about Jordan as a kid? It's like, I don't know, pencil him in for fucking 35. Like, Family Matters wasn't the game changer for me. So what really mattered was if you guys go back and you look at the tape, I would say historically speaking, TGI Friday had the hardest time in the 4th spot. They're just a cleanup hitter. Like they give sister got a springtime run for for a couple shows. Hanging with Mr. Cooper had a little bit of it, had a cup of coffee. So if we go down, we look at the 4th spot here, I think you're going to find a lot of inconsistencies where historically, you've got Boy Meets World step by step. They trade back and forth between the 2nd and the 3rd spot in the lineup.
Yeah.
That's a lefty-righty
the 4th
switch
spot
there.
in the lineup. Yeah, you just exactly, Riggs. It's like, hey, when winter time, we got to make sure we have step by step.
I mean, look at that run there too. Baby Talk, Billy, Baby Talk, Camp Wilder, where I live. That's like third base for the Mets.
It's so tough.
I don't even know those shows. I don't know them.
I remember Baby Talk faintly. But
it was a playoff of Baby Talk was a playoff of Look Who's Talking Now.
That's right. Yep.
Except I don't think they had any of the fucking actors from that.
It felt like they wanted to try to put not an edgy show, but the most controversial one they had at that 4th spot.
Wow, what year is that Boy Meets World there is in the 4th spot?
It's late. It's 90. Oh. It's 90.
Well, you know why that probably made sense is because they were starting to age up themselves, so it made more sense to put them later when the corresponding age group could watch.
Sure, except that was fall of 96. The spring of 97 all the way through fall of 99, they went back to the 2 spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think Boy Meets World, had the greatest TGIF run.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Ooh, and you guys see at the bottom there, who sees it? 2 guys, a girl, and a pizza place.
Wow.
And I want to point. I want to say, isn't that Ryan Reynolds?
Yep. Yeah. I was just going to say that was Ryan Reynolds' big break.
That's where I learned how to wear a long sleeve under a t-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that became a thing because Ryan Reynolds wore a gray long sleeve shirt and then he had a maroon short sleeve over it. I thought it looked so cool. I was like, "Oh, that's my look."
Why are we talking this like past tense? Because
right. No,
I'm ready to do this again. Because I remember that because the same thing. It was always whatever T-shirt you could find. You just slapped on a solid long sleeve underneath. You could get a 3-pack for cheap too.
Well, yeah, but then that took your favorite T-shirt and it made it a year-round ability to wear.
Yep. Because you don't want to wear a jacket as a kid.
Correct.
We come out of this quarantine, there should be a hard reset. And if you want to try to bring back shit from the 90s, you just try it. And if it sticks, it sticks. I think we've all kind of been cooped up forever. My fantasy league, they've wanted to do, we have a keeper league, all this stuff. They keep wanting to change the rules. They said, let's do a hard reset. Everyone's keeper's gone. We're going to do 2 quarterback league. We're going to throw PPR in there. And I kind of everyone just comes out of this quarantine as whoever you want to be, basically, right? It's like moving to a new town.
So we're all coming out with bowl cuts.
Yeah, exactly. I'm down for that. So, I mean, this I don't know. What do you think is the best year here out of all these lineups? Because you see, Like they're like, oh man, we finally got our cleanup hitter and Hanging Mr. Cooper, and then they're moving Boy Meets World to the end when Hanging Mr. Cooper is gone. I feel like there's not that much balance in the lineups here. There's always like that auto out like in Little League.
They never had their best four. They never had their best four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to have to pick one, though, I think it's that 94-95 season, Family Matters, Boy Meets World, Step by Step, Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Agree.
I think so.
I'm sorry. Clem, are you able to pipe in the Perfect Strangers theme song? Because I don't remember it offhand.
Okay. All right. So we'll go to we'll start doing some theme songs now. Now, I'm going to say this. I honestly think this is the best theme song of all time, and I'm a theme song connoisseur. This is my personal choice. It's a personal choice for best theme song ever. Can you guys hear? And we're going to take a nice trip around Chicago, too, together. And Meatballs.
Sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what all this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. It's flame in my heart like a long lost.
We're starting a crescendo now.
Every dark street, a light at the end. Standing tall on the wings of my dream, rise and fall on the wings of my dream. The rain and thunder, the wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream, and nothing's gonna stop me now.
Wow.
Eddie, we should remake this.
You guys really should.
We should, Eddie. We definitely need to remake this, like 100%, like within the next 2 weeks. You and I.
You should just. You guys should just you two remake it. But can I tell you now that I'm thinking about it, that is my earliest memory of Wrigley Field is in that theme song.
Really?
I mean, mine's still probably Rookie of the Year.
No, but Rookie of the Year this was before Rookie of the Year.
I'm saying mine's probably Rookie of the Year.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Clem, wow, that is a power banger. And you know what's kind of funny if we're talking about theme songs? The best show, Boy Meets World, shittiest theme song.
Oh,
I liked it. It was right to the point. It had the hook.
Let's go to the tape.
Go to the tape.
All right, now I got to say this before this starts here. I was not a Boy Meets World guy, and I know this is
That's so disheartening.
Close the stream. Close the stream.
That's so disheartening.
Okay, so what year does Boy Meets World come out? It comes out in
like 90.
93?
93. It looks like is when it gets on the map. So at this point, I'm starting to like age out of TGIF a little bit. I'm not like 100 years old, but I'm 12 years old at this point. I'm getting into probably just video games, to be honest with you. But I'm kind of the first chunk of. All right, I apologize. I shouldn't have brought this up. This is going to cause some problems between us.
No, that makes sense.
I mean, it's something to be.
All right, so
That's tough. That's tough coming after Perfect Strangers too.
there's another one though.
There is definitely another one.
When they're doing This Boy Meets World. That's a good
When This
one.
Boy Meets World.
Yes, I
Maybe
know
season 3.
I know what you're talking about. But
Nice
when
girl.
you think about Family Matters, Perfect Strangers, Full House, these actual songs, you can't come at me with an instrumental or just a one-line song and say that's going to be.
But it had it had the perfect touches of Topanga and Corey in Disney World, the rearview mirror, Feeney and Corey.
Oh, you know what? Boy Meets World song was probably the best. Was their last one, the one at the bottom there, Clem.
This one right here, season 3.
That's Girl Meets World.
that's actually it's high school.
I want to say
project.
it was
That's
going to play right
Columbus.
after that version, Clem.
It was going to go after there.
Yeah, I want to say. I don't know though.
Well, you're searching Girl Meets World. Clark.
I'm in Girl Meets World. I don't know how I got into Girl Meets World here. Let's
That's how you
see
get
here.
flagged.
Is it the one
Season
there with
6.
Topanga and Corey? Yeah.
Even that shit bang.
That,
This one.
Yep.
Running down this road that we call life is what we're doing. And still always stand by me when this boy meets
I like the original more. I like the original more.
I think in terms of theme
It's
songs,
good. I
though,
like the original more.
the others are better in my opinion.
I mean, this is the thing. Again, it's on the same channel in the same programming block as like four of the greatest songs ever. We have to go Family Matters next because this is an all-time.
Yeah, it is.
Theme.
Yeah, it is.
And like Carl said, this is the leadoff hitter, and this is the leadoff of the leadoff hitter. This is the first your first eyes and ears you get on Family Matters is this song.
It's a rare condition this day and age.
Reggie,
to
just
read
the greatest name ever.
on the newspaper page. Love and tradition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls.
Oh, we're going Richie? Okay.
It's the tower of dreams. Real love bursting out of every scene.
I forgot about the grandma on this show.
Aunt Rachel's so hot.
Oh,
Yeah.
So hot.
Family.
what part of Chicago were they in?
It looks like it's on this. That looks like it's on the west side.
West Side.
Man,
Okay, so it's not a TGI Friday show, but unequivocally to me, the best theme song of all time. You guys are lucky that this isn't in the conversation, and that's City Guys. CITY.
Carl, this is why we're friends, because when I put up my top 5 all time, that made it in my top 5. I think it was number 3.
All right.
It's
Number
so
one for me
good.
is
I'm
number
gonna
one for
put
me
up a
is
song.
King of Queens.
I'm going to put up a song in that same type of genre that I think can go toe-to-toe with City Guys, and that's California Dreams.
Yeah, you text me this at like 1 a.m. last weekend.
Wow, I might have been intoxicated.
All right, so we're going to keep going songs here. We're going to keep it going. So, I mean, again, right after Family Matters, you're going Full House, which, I mean, what do you – this is choosing between this is MJ, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, all that bullshit.
Do you think this is the most known theme song ever?
No. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's probably
Oh, cheers.
Dawson's Creek.
Tea.
Good one.
Milkman, the paper boy. Need a minute.
Whenever someone makes like a I'll talk. I'll wait till after the song goes. This is later years. Yeah, Michelle's old.
Ooh, Lori. Oh. Rest in peace.
Steve made the opening.
I mean, Uncle Jesse, just even the way he dressed was so cool there.
So cool.
I mean, a picnic, really?
Like in their front yard.
I've been to San Francisco before. Outside that camera frame, there's at least 6 homeless people, and 2 of them are engaged in some sort of drugs and or sexual acts at the moment because it is not that nice.
Can we talk about how Stephanie Tanner became a drug addict? Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, meth, right? I think meth.
Yeah,
was,
she was a meth addict.
Yeah.
But she put. Oh, I mean, this ties it all together. She pulled herself out of that, and then in 2017, 2018, there was a show on like the Pop Sugar Network or something. Don't ask me why I know these things, but it was her. It was Al from Step by Step, and they were playing themselves. And it was one other chick. Hold on. It was Beverly Mitchell from Seventh Heaven, Jodie Sweetin, and Christine Larkin, who was Al from Step by Step. They were playing themselves in a scripted show. It was a great show.
I mean,
that's my story.
It was a great show. I thought you were going to say like she relapsed.
I know.
And, they got into a bunch of shit together. They robbed the bank.
She completely turned herself around. She had some physical enhancements. I'll leave it at that. She looked amazing. You guys should check it out if you ever get a chance.
I mean, if you add in like kind of what happened with the Olsen twins, like there was a lot of shit that went down with the people in
my
the show.
first love was Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Pick one. Don't
Mary
be
Kate,
selfish.
she was a lefty.
I was on Team Ashley. We
left-
could have been on double dates as kids.
We could have.
And by the way, on the subject of, would you say she got her tits done? And hey, if you can touch them, they're real. That's all I gotta say.
Not even touch them. If you can see them, they're real. They're right there.
That's right.
What other theme songs do we have from
Step by Step.
Oh, Step by Step.
Yeah.
Underrated might be the best one out of them all.
Cody
Yeah.
is all of our older stepbrothers. Everyone has
Yeah.
stepbrothers. Cody.
Cody is so
Whoa.
cool.
Bro.
Do you remember that episode when he did
Oh,
like
Suzanne Summers, by the
Oh
way.
wow.
Yeah, brought
Ah. I had to clean a lot of socks for her.
Yeah.
it. This is the same guy singing from.
From
I
Full
feel like
House.
I've heard this voice. Yeah. What is he
Patrick
doing right
Duffy.
now?
How old is Suzanne Summers in this?
Late 30s, 40s?
Show me Karen. Karen was so hot, dude. She should be the next. No, Cody, Brendan.
Yeah, she's got to be coming up here.
Yo,
Yes, Karen's
Oh.
so hot.
yo, Google Christine Larkin. She looks amazing now.
That's Connor. I'm already halfway through the name.
Yeah.
Christine Lakin. She's the third Christine L to pop up. Oh, she looks phenomenal. She's 41.
Yep.
Where was this one based?
Oh, Green Bay.
Really?
Was it
Yeah,
Green
was
Bay? I was debating
Um,
with my wife today. We couldn't figure it out. I guess
Maybe it was definitely Wisconsin. Maybe not Green Bay. It was. I'm pretty sure, but I know it was Wisconsin.
Same
It
thing.
was based in Port Washington, Wisconsin.
There you go.
It's not
Frank.
TGIF, but I love Growing Pains theme too.
Oh,
That's a good one.
So
Play that now.
that
That's
is
the
kind of
goat.
my Perfect Strangers and Growing Pains. They go
Yeah.
toe to toe, and it changes by the day, kind of a thing. So
Are we taking requests now? How does this work? Are we taking
Like,
requests?
You're
we
gonna
put-
start
do we-
screaming over. Yeah.
Can we put Sanford and Son in the hopper then, if
Of
that's
course.
the case?
We need city guys in the hopper.
we were going. I was going through the Wikipedia page for TGIF, and it said how ABC was like, we have to start basically branding all the different nights. And there was something which I'm an old and I have a great memory. I don't remember this one bit. They called it the Hump, and it was the ABC on Wednesday nights. They had the Wonder Years, which is another that's like a legit great song, like on the charts, right?
Yeah.
Growing Pains, Doogie
Wonder
Howser.
I will say one thing about the Wonder Years. It's somewhat of a cop out because it's just a normal song that they used as
Yeah.
the theme song.
That's
Same thing with
that's
Friends.
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doogie Howser MD, which is a great song, a little different and weird, and Davis Rules, which I've never heard of. There's always that one kind of, again, they had a hard time filling that late slot. But here's the Growing Pains song, which I
So
mean
fucking good.
might be
It's
number
so
one.
good. It's so good.
Show me that smile. Show me that smile. Don't waste another minute on your crying. We're nowhere near. The best is ready to begin. As long as we got each other, we got the world spinning right in our hands. Baby, rain or shine, all the time. We got each other, sharing the laughter and love.
Kirk Cameron giving the thumbs up really sells it though.
So the
Okay.
Cameron family was cashing in checks with Kirk and Candace. They were
Yep.
just making bank off of ABC back in the day. Unbelievable. And this we said it. Perfect Strangers, Full House, Family Matters, and Step by Step, all made by Jesse Frederick, who's apparently the GOAT. He's basically the John Williams of sitcom TV themes. He's a fucking genius. All
When
those
did they-
songs made by the same person.
When do you think like theme songs switch? Because I feel like they don't matter anymore. I don't know if it's like on Netflix you can skip intros and shit like that. When's the last? What would you say was the last great theme song or intro song?
I mean,
I still think they play. It's just those kind of songs don't exist anymore. Like the Breaking Bad song, that Game of Thrones, it's more instrumentals. The
Right.
Wire, even, which is kind of a real song that they change every episode. Sopranos, like they all kind of hit, but there's nothing like folky like that. I think that's
Right.
a little more like
Yeah.
grassroots.
they're also introducing directors now editor, sound producer. So you're seeing more like visual shit with like, you know, fucked up music and then like, you know, directed by, screenplay by, all that shit. Back then, they're marketing this stuff, so you want to see Kirk Cameron giving a fucking thumbs up to like a cheesy song that follows you to the grocery store. So like, you know, you're feeling out the tomatoes, you're looking at the oranges, you know, you're talking to the butcher in the back of your head. You're like, man, that fucking growing pain song. Like, when is it? Oh, it's on tomorrow at 8. Because like that was life back then. You had to subliminally brainwash people.
It's great.
Now you don't have to do that stuff. So
what focus on, because Kirk Cameron's staring at me right now. We said earlier how this crew is just a good crew. Who would you most want to go to the bar with, assuming everybody's now 21 in these shows?
Wow. That's a great question. So out of like the TGIF shows, and the shows
out of the shows we're talking about.
Am I a single guy?
Yeah, let's say we're 26. We're all 26.
All right. Well, then I'm going with Ryan Reynolds, and I'll just take his runoff.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
I mean, I'm taking Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm taking Melissa Joan Hart. I'm trying to play my cards right. I want to be friends with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah.
Eddie,
yes.
I know you feel the same way.
Yeah.
No, you know who I think would be fun to be friends with is the teacher, the cool teacher in Boy Meets World,
Mr. Turner.
Mr.
Jonathan
Turner.
Oh no, that was a cool.
I'm always suspicious of the fucking teacher that wants to like get a little too close to the.
He definitely drives like a Jeep Wrangler with the top down at all times in Philadelphia.
Yo, Frank Lambert's definitely a beer and a shot guy.
Yeah,
that you want to hang with.
Yeah, that's a good call.
My initial thought was Uncle Jesse, but he's going after the girls. They're going after him. You're kind of
married,
wallpaper
bro.
at that point, and he's wallpaper.
Even if he's single, Uncle Jesse is a guy who he sips on a vodka soda, doesn't really get after it, and he's just there to try to go home with someone. He's not there for the long haul to hang out with you.
You're right.
If he's not my stepbrother, he's my pick.
Ooh. I'll take Urkel. I mean, Urkel will reel him in with the accordion, and then you just kind of work your way around there.
Yo, you get him to reel him in with the accordion, then he pops in the booth and comes back as Stefan.
Yeah, why not?
Stefan would be a good call.
I'm telling you, my guy, Earl Sinclair. I mean, you bring a dinosaur to a bar, you're fucking going to the bar, right? But even if he's like the human form of Earl Sinclair, that guy is just my kind of guy. He's going in, we're drinking about 10 beers, just straight. You're going in the glass, just hammering beers, and you're having yourself a night. You're going to watch the game. You're going to go home and have a good time. So I'm going Earl Sinclair.
Yeah, you know who you're going to end up in jail with if you go hang out with Kirk Cameron's buddy Boner from Growing Pains.
I mean, you put a guy named Boner out there, you're in trouble to begin with.
Dude, Boner would be great to go out with. You mean my buddy Boner yet? It'd be great.
And it's not an innuendo. You're like, no, he's literally standing right here.
No, I'm serious. That's his name. That's what we call him.
I had a buddy in college called Boner, and he lived up to the Boner persona 100%.
That's
a wild child. He's the guy who's pulling the dick tricks at 3 a.m. He's jumping off of cliffs. He's a Boner. His name was Tom, and they called him T-Bone growing up. Becomes Boner because the shoe fits wear, right?
All right. So, on the other side, who's probably the last person you want to go to the bar with?
Uncle Joey. Like, cut it out, all that shit. Get the fuck out of me. Bring in the puppet. Like, dude, I told you not to bring the woodchuck. Don't bring the woodchuck to the bar. Nobody likes it. The girls think it's creepy.
And as he's getting more and more drunk, he's just bringing it out more and more and more. And
he has Alanis Morissette. He's in Alanis Morissette's crosshairs. Right. You don't want a part of Alanis that time of the.
Sean Hunter's dad might be my pick. I don't know if I could keep up with him.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say Sean Hunter's dad. He's closing the bar down.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
I'd be scared of my night out with Sean Hunter's dad.
Yeah, you know what? She's the apple of a lot of our eyes, but I don't think Topanga would be great to go out with. I think she's like, right. Let's go. It's time to go home.
It's a good call.
She would be this bar isn't trendy enough for me. I don't think you could bring Topanga to a dive bar.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, she doesn't strike me as a dive bar girl. She doesn't strike me as a dive bar. And I wasn't a Boy Meets World fan, but I was the other thing. I'm out of the Boy Meets World stuff, man. I didn't want to reveal this about myself, but I knew it was going to come out.
Clem, I hate to say this, but do you remember The Surreal Life on MTV or VH1?
Yes. Great reality show.
That's strictly what I know Bronson Pinchot from. So I think he's a huge weirdo. So I wouldn't want to go to the bar with that guy.
That's fair enough. I mean, he
Good
would
answer.
be Balky would be a tough one to go. Both of them. Uncle Larry was a dickhead too. Cousin Larry, excuse me. Cousin Larry was a dickhead. I wouldn't
Yo,
want to
imagine
go
though, you're like, yeah, it's my friend Balky. What? Balky. Oh,
Balky
all right.
Bartakamis, and he's dancing and he's talking about herding
What?
sheep and meepos.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
A
I think-
great choice would be what Carl said earlier. The two guys from City Guys. Bring me out to a bar with them.
Yeah.
I picked Mark from Step by Step as the last person I ever want to hang out with.
Ooh.
Oh, I know he probably turned out cool. He's probably got a huge dick. He's probably way cooler than they portrayed him. But I don't know. Just Mark.
No,
didn't
we're
do
going
it for
off.
him.
We're going off the characters, and that's a great answer, Carl.
I'm with you, Carl. I got your back on that one. Was Clueless a good show? Because I personally love the movie. I find the movie delightful. I'm probably gonna watch it tonight before I go to bed. I find the movie great.
I couldn't tell you one thing about the show.
I just remember the girls kind of looked like the girls in the movie. Like, I remember
Well,
the commercials.
no.
That was about it.
2 of the 3 girls were the girls in the movie. The redhead and the black
so they
girl.
really looked like the girls in the movie.
Stacey Dash was in it, right?
Yeah, Stacey Dash and the other white chick. The only chick that got switched out was Alicia Silverstone.
The redhead was Brittany Murphy, right?
Yeah.
Brittany Murphy? Yeah, she was in it.
She was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but the other friend, Amber, wasn't her name
Amber,
Amber?
the redhead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are our thoughts here? The Clueless movie. Are we all thumbs up? I feel like Alicia Silverstone.
yeah.
That was my
Oh, yeah.
childhood right there.
Paul
Yeah,
Rudd
I was looking at the
breakout.
videos.
Paul Rudd. Well, not Paul Rudd's breakout, but Paul Rudd was great there.
Yeah,
Yes,
It was.
Good movie.
co-sign.
Paul Rudd
Co-sign.
looks just as old now as he does in that movie. By the way,
yeah. I was just gonna say the
He's
same
looked
thing.
the same forever.
like it's
point.
just like he's just a 30-year-old guy. Always will be.
Yeah, I will say though, it doesn't really bode well for your career. I mean, some of them did okay. Well, not even really, but if you do a movie and then you go and play that same character on a television show and they don't find a replacement for you, I don't think that's a
Yeah,
good
it's
career
tough.
move back in the 90s.
True.
That's fair. So, were any of you guys TNBC fans? I know,
Yes.
Carl, you threw out City Guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was like Saturday morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was also
TNBC. What would
Yeah.
that would run from 9 to 11?
Yeah, because they would have City Guys, Hang Time,
Hang Time was such a good show.
California Dreams, and then Inside Stuff with NBA.
Yep. With Ahmad Rashad
Yes.
and Willow Bay or Summer Sanders, maybe both of them.
Yes, Summer Sanders. Oh, Summer Sanders was that's another crush right there. That kind of just got you through the childhood. I don't know City Guys. I want to listen to this song here. Do I have permission? All right.
It's a great song.
It is a good song.
Great song.
C-I-T-Y, you can see why these guys, the neat guys, more than streetwise. C-I-T-Y, you can see why these guys, the neat guys, more than streetwise. City guys, bold those looks and street
Oh, man,
clothes.
this is
It's all
legit.
good coming
Yeah.
from city people, they're all the same. Open up your eyes, roll with the city guys. C-I-T-Y, you can see why these guys, the neat guys, more than streetwise. C-I-T-Y, you can see why these guys, the neat guys, more than streetwise. Check the school, too fast to the playground, you'll make it there.
So the TNBC was Hang Time, California Dreams, Inside Stuff, City Guys. Was Saved by the Bell in that at all?
The new class.
Yeah.
The new class.
Yeah,
All
Saved by
right.
the Bell was its own thing before TNBC came along. But speaking of California Dreams, can you please play that theme song next? Because that thing slaps.
I do remember. I feel like California Dreams. This was the best part of it. Was the theme song?
Oh, they were just a band. Like that's what they were.
Yeah.
So much worse than I remember.
Sky above, sand below. Good vibration, feeling mellow.
It's so bad.
This is bad.
Don't wake me up if I'm dreaming. California dreams.
Now imagine getting a text from Connor about how awesome this is at 1 a.m.
Oh Jesus!
What is this one?
California Dreams. It was on TNBC.
Always
Yeah.
had trampolines in the '90s. Everyone was jumping on a trampoline. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ask Carl. He's got one in his apartment now.
Yo, what
Yeah, I
was
know what Carl does.
To
He's
be
an
honest with you
X-Factor.
guys, if you're anaerobic exercise enthusiast, you'd be interested to know, as tested by NASA, astronauts jumping on a trampoline for 10 minutes is equivalent to 30 minutes of running.
what?
Yeah.
Damn, I'm about to get a trampoline.
Because when your body comes down and like the way the body is supposed to absorb the impact, apparently it like makes your muscles like tense and fight like strenuously and it continuously because you gotta catch yourself. So it's basically time travel. So
I just love Mrs. Carl buying that too. I mean, that's why you marry the girl. That's why I put the ring.
power
in her.
play, man.
It really
you come home to a trampoline in your living room, you're like, we have a trampoline. No
What do you say?
question.
No, yeah.
And I said this on radio today. You guys won't believe this. She came up to me today before I was leaving for work. We've had this trampoline for 6 days, 5 business days. I'm leaving for work. She's like, hey, by the way, I was thinking about like, what do you think if like we opened like a gym that was like just trampolines? Like there's no places like that in Chicago. I'm like, are you that big of a success story already? Like this is how this works? The fucking trampoline just changes everything? Done.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
do
Like,
it.
how quick did you say yes?
Oh, supply and demand. I'm like, done. Whatever you need, honey. I'm a trampoline guy with you till the end.
Just hang time.
I don't remember this theme song.
Oh, it's a phenomenal.
It's a good theme song.
Shout out James
Phenomenal.
Mulaney.
Is that
No,
the
Oh,
chick
wait.
from?
Yes.
That guy's fucking 40.
Oh, this chick was the worst.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, but
the
she's hot.
absolute worst. Is this the season with Anthony Anderson?
No.
Reggie Theus, holy shit! I
Oh
forgot
wow.
Reggie Theus to Mike Ditka. Or not Ditka. It's what's his face?
Dick
Dick
Buckus.
Buckus.
Buckus, yeah.
Reggie Buckus, yep.
Yeah, but that's the chick from Meet the Parents.
Matt, they're right. That's who I was.
Oh,
what I
that's
was
right.
thinking.
Yeah.
Parents chick.
Hang time. If people don't know, this is the show that Rico Bosco got the famous name from.
Yeah.
Right, Rico.
He's like the sneak in Hang Time at Deering High.
I'm
'Cause
being
doesn't-
told this isn't the real Hang Time song.
No,
is
that
what I'm
didn't sound
told.
right. Because I remember a guy singing it, and it's like Hang Time, running together.
We got duped.
Maybe.
Oh, season 1.
This is the one. Yeah.
Yes.
Playing on like a 9-foot court.
I don't have the slightest memory of this show.
Oh, this was a must-watch.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
It was. It was like Friday Night Lights in the sense where they won every game by like a half-court shot buzzer beater.
I'll give you a little fun fact here about Hang Time. That was not the girl from Meet the Parents. I just looked her up on Wikipedia.
Then what would
It
no.
looks just like her. It looks just like her. I was thinking the same thing, Cons.
Wow.
Daniela Deutscher. Not most certainly not. Because the girl, her name starts with a P. I forgot her name from Meet the Parents. This
Wow.
girl did Hang Time, 3 other shows, and that was it. Called it a career.
Wow.
Do you think any shows today could hold a TGIF? Like, do you think we could watch a TGIF tonight?
I just don't think people watch network shows enough. Like you might have like one show. Like I just finished watching Modern Family and
That's
I stuck
the only
with that.
one I could think of.
But like what other network sitcoms do you watch?
The Goldbergs I watch just because I find it fine. Like, it's good background stuff.
I watched New Girl, but that's not
New
on
Girl,
anymore.
not on anymore.
The only time I even turn on TV other than for my kids is like this, like the Jordan documentary,
Yeah.
the draft. Like it's just basically whatever sports is now. I don't know if you guys are kind of in the same boat. And then like streaming, which is you just get one show at a time. There's really not a block that could just do two hours a time. I don't know if you get an hour out of me if it's like multiple shows.
It's kind of crazy it was on a Friday. Like, it wasn't – when did it switch where Friday was like the worst night to have shows on?
Well, you got to think about who they were targeting these shows towards. It was targeted towards people who were going to stay home.
Right.
And also, let's remember, this is back when, people had cable, but there just weren't as many channels. There weren't as many options. So network television was just much bigger.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which takes us to the other kind of competitor in all this, SNICK.
SNICK.
Eddie, I feel like you were a SNICK guy.
I feel like Eddie was a SNICK guy. I was going to say, Eddie feels like a SNICK guy to me.
All right, I got to see this. And then
we got Clarissa explains it all.
Roundhouse.
Me.
Yes.
Roundhouse was awesome. When they added Roundhouse and they were like, we're going to give you a 10 p.m. piece of programming, that was great. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Like, that has more staying power than any TGIF stuff. Like, I'd probably be way more comfortable breaking a lot of this stuff down.
All right, I have to admit something now, and I'm comfortable in myself now to admit it. So in my house, we didn't have cable until I got to high school. So the only time I watched these shows on Nickelodeon was if I was at a friend's house. So I didn't watch them religiously. My dad was like, "We don't need all those other channels. You want more channels? Go outside."
Yeah, we had DirecTV since I was a kid, so we could watch the Giants. So
no wonder you went to West Point.
Yeah.
Fucking watching Sven Gulli all day.
My poor buddy was in the same boat, Cons, and I feel so bad. Like we'll just get in a riff about like some MTV spring break. It's like talking Chinese to the poor kid. He has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This shit was so good, man.
Kenan and Kel, The Adventures of Pete and Pete.
I'll throw a SNICK video on here. Maybe we'll get some sort of a SNICK promo, kind of get some memories going back.
Yeah, we're gonna have to run this.
The orange couch, right? That was their big thing.
No Other Night.
That's a good.
Was all that on SNICK?
See, this is the thing. I didn't even know it was called SNICK for like. I just I forgot it. Like that's what the lineup was called.
They don't really have anything that's specific. Let's see. Do they have?
So I had a babysitter pretty much every Saturday from literally since I was born, because I got two older brothers, until my oldest brother was old enough to watch us, maybe since I was 7 or 8 years old. There was literally every Saturday night, my fucking parents went out, and this SNICK was like the three of us would huddle up in the basement, make all the popcorn in the world, stash all the Cokes in the basement, turn the lights off. Like SNICK just hits because TGIF is like, my parents were always home on Fridays.
Right.
So SNICK was different in the fact that it's not just the shows, it's the fact that it was like chaos, anarchy. Like parents are gone.
TGIF was pizza with the family watching it. SNICK was in the basement, lights off, drinking that extra caffeine that you weren't allowed to have.
Yeah, mom and dad are gonna be home at 1 a.m. blacked out. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you're fine. Stay up as late as you want.
Did you watch this a lot, Clem?
I did, and I kind of stuck with it because again, when my brother and sister would then watch it, they're younger. I'm the oldest in the family, so whenever I felt like I was getting a little too old and they got into it, but they were kind of in and out. But these are pretty for fucking Nickelodeon. Like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's still scary. I still can't watch that with, like, the lights off. Secret World of Alex Mack. I had a huge crush on Alex Mack. And there's another girl on that show that like who is it? Obviously Alex Mack was the lead, and then there was another girl who I had a big crush on. I can't remember who else. Ren and Stimpy. I mean, that's worse than anything they were showing on. Basically,
that's like PG-13 back then.
Yeah, that was some fucked up shit. So that I hung around with SNICK for a good time. I love Rugrats. I still love Rugrats to this day. Ariel Monsters. I had no idea that SNICK. I thought SNICK was much more. I guess the later years. I wasn't in on Kenan and Kel, stuff like that. All that Adventures of P and Pete. Those were like my age range liked them, but I never really got into them all that much. I feel like you guys are big P and Pete guys.
We're gonna have to run it back with SNICK at some point soon.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, kind of like you said, it hit different because you had all day Saturday. You started off with the cartoons. You're outside playing bikes, riding around, playing baseball, and then you have SNICK to finish the night off. Do you guys? I may be dating myself with this throwback, but do you guys remember these commercials from the Saturday morning cartoons? Let's see, where is it? That's not it.
One Saturday morning.
Was that the name of something? One Saturday Morning? Was that the name of the cartoon?
Yeah.
My hot take is I never really was a cartoon fan. Like Rugrats, Doug, I would watch, but I never really like South Park, Simpsons. Like I never really got into that stuff.
Yeah, this is Saturday morning cartoon.
I was a big Recess fan. I don't know.
Recess was, yep. Because like
these things.
Like Clem said, I have a younger brother and sister, so what they want.
After these messages, we'll be
Yes.
right back.
Like these are my guys.
Oh my
going.
gosh, yes.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Thinking these might have been a little before Eddie's time by the look of his
After
face.
these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah, I remember these guys.
Messages. We'll be right back.
I need you guys to incorporate that at Barstool at night. It's like Dave, like segments.
So yeah, that was my kind of thing. Saturday morning cartoons. I think everyone got into the Saturday morning cartoons, right? Like everyone had their. I did X-Men. We talked American Gladiators, which was like another daytime thing, right? On the weekends.
Yeah, there was contention about when that was. Did you guys watch Gladiators, Eddie and Carl?
Yeah, very much so.
When was that on for you?
I mostly watched it on USA at 10 a.m.
Saturday or Sunday?
Neither. Summers.
Summers. Fair.
Like Monday through Friday, like daytime on USA, Channel 40, it would get reprogrammed. But like as far as new episodes,
yeah.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't on the new episode train. I would be on like the American Gladiators are on USA.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
I watched your episode. What was that? A couple weeks ago, and or last week? That's what. Same thing. I just watched reruns. I didn't watch it when it was like new.
I that's the thing. I don't know how long Gladiators was around for too. I feel like it had a short run on top. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hey, can we talk a little bit about our remotes?
Absolutely.
Remotes were so important. Like when I'd stay at my grandparents' house, I'd stay at my grandparents' house a lot, and you had to physically get up and change a channel a lot.
Oh, wow.
And that's okay. I know, but it's fine because like you'd get your own cable box. They had like 5 different cable boxes, so like you and your brother would be like, all right, I got this room, you get that room, and stuff. So it was a luxury, but you were willing to do it. But you had some remotes, you'd go 47. That was Nickelodeon for me, 47.
33.
And it would take 5-6 seconds to go to channel 47. But some remotes, 47. Boom. Boom.
Dude.
Boom.
Dude, just even thinking
that?
about like putting a VCR in to tape something is crazy.
Oh yeah, VHS tape.
I was talking about that with somebody
Or like
recently.
sitting on the VHS remote. And you're like, oh, that's the VHS remote. Put the VHS remote away.
I was talking about someone with that recently where when it was LeBron versus Melo, Oak Hill versus St. Vincent St. Mary's, I had my own practice that night. So I literally had to tape it onto a VHS to watch later because DVR wasn't a thing.
How about if you guys remember, I'm pretty sure we all had siblings growing up, but you go with your siblings to the Blockbuster, and if you were lucky, everyone got to pick one. But if you had to agree on something, that was just an all-brawl.
Or trying to rent a video game and end a movie.
Yeah.
You go all the way there, and then it's sold out, and you're just like, well, that 20-minute ride was for. I apologize. Those are rough memories.
It took me 8 months to get my hands on Mystery Men.
But it was always awesome when you're like, hey, can you check the box? Maybe someone just returned it.
Yes.
And they checked the box and they had one in there.
You'd be on your tippy toes looking over the counter to watch them open it up to see if it was in there.
I rented every wrestling video that the Oaklawn Blockbuster had ever fucking published. I'm talking old school British Royal Rumbles from the 80s. Like, you name it, I had seen it.
My best friend's older brother had all of them on VHS, Carl. So I would just go over there, and it was like, sleepover time, and we'd run through
Nothing
91 to 94.
Wrestling as a kid. Nothing better than watching wrestling at a sleepover.
Oh, it's the best.
I could still smell my video store, and I would just look, and I'd go through 1991. You look at the Royal Rumble, you see everyone on the cover, they're all painted on there. And in mine, you look over to the right, and that was the adult section, and you could look over that curtain, you could probably see that top row. Yeah. And you get like, I don't know what that is, but I know it's awesome, and I know I'm not allowed to look at it right now.
Yeah,
I would
one of my
always
biggest
try to-
regrets in life is giving up on wrestling. Is like not following it. Like it just, I lost it. Age 13, just lost it. You know.
You didn't come back with Austin and everything?
I had Stone Cold. I was born 87, so I rode Stone Cold Steve Austin mid through the late 90s.
Okay.
And then once I got to high school, it was just like wrestling. No, I don't follow that. That's a lot.
I feel like that was when a lot of people bailed out, though. You know what I mean? I think that was kind of like you were in the golden era. I grew up with the Hogan, then I was out when Hogan left WWF, and then I came back in, I guess, when you were there with Stone Cold. I imagine everyone here was Stone Cold, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking at this.
Hold on
commercial.
a second. I'm sorry, Reeks,
No,
because
go ahead.
Eddie has the best wrestling personal experience, like father-son thing. Literally, it gives me the chills every time, Eddie, please.
So probably like the coolest gift I ever got in my life was it was, I forget exactly what year it was, but back in the day it was like a big deal to like miss a pay-per-view. You had to watch every pay-per-view. It was like I'm not missing Backlash, or I'm not missing Judgment Day or whatever. And
Bash at the beach.
yeah, Bash at the Beach. So we were going on a family vacation to San Diego, and I was bummed because I was going to miss Bash at the Beach. And like I remember like kind of complaining about it, like an asshole, like I have to go to San Diego, but I'm going to miss Bash at the Beach. And I remember pulling up to some place. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? Little did I know Bash at the Beach was in San Diego.
Wow.
And it was DDP and Karl Malone versus Hogan and Rodman.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
My dad surprised me and he took me, so it was like the coolest gift I ever gotten.
I went to SummerSlam in Indianapolis when I was in college, and I got called a hillbilly when I was sitting inside of watching SummerSlam because me and one of my roommates threw a dip in the upper decks.
Fuck!
What a story, man. Papa Eddie, is your
That's
dad
a
an
hell
Eddie?
of a move.
Is he what?
Is he an Eddie?
He's an Eddie.
Yo,
That's
I've
an
heard,
Eddie.
by the
Of course
way,
he is. That's just a
You
good
can't
guy.
be an Eddie
Good
without
guy
an
to
Eddie
move.
Senior.
He is.
I feel like you need an Eddie Senior.
yeah, but I'm sorry, real quick on the screen right now is Holly Robinson Pete. I forgot she was on Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and wow, all time.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. You bring them up. I have one more, Eddie. What about the answering machine when you were a kid?
I mean, it was just like remember the old, since we're talking old school, like you had the little cassettes you used to put them in and like whatever.
Yep.
Like you got the dads who like old school messages would be like, oh, like people be like, oh, what, hello, like they start a conversation and oh, leave a message. Like my dad always thought he was hilarious. He'd always like leave trivia questions on there. He's like, all right, it's time for trivia. Thanks for the call. If you could answer this correctly, the next time you stop by the house, you could cash in a nice ice cold Snapple, or like, just do trivia.
That's awesome to have fun with it a little bit.
Yeah.
I love trivia.
Like
I would call the Eddie household
No, imagine
42 times a day.
Yeah, Ed, like if I was friends with you, like, oh, I gotta call Eddie's house, see if they got new trivia.
Yeah, and it was good back in the day. There was no fucking like internet to look shit
Right.
up. So
You couldn't cheat.
it was hard.
Yo, I will say though, that's something to be said. You guys remember having arguments with your friends, and there was no way really to prove who was right. Now it's like we have an argument, we can just look up and see who's right.
Yeah.
There was something to be said for having an argument and just going in circles forever because you could never tell.
You could really hunker down on your take.
Yeah.
Whether you were right or wrong, you just be like, no, prove me wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, like gold gloves. Like Nomar had more gold gloves than Jeter. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And then like 2006, I want to say, it was like you could easily in a snap like go to a desktop computer in your dorm room.
There was one chance to get right.
Yeah.
It was the announcement night, and you'd have to like time it up on the bottom ticker to see the parentheses.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, I saw a commercial with Corey sitting in between Sean and Eric. 2-part question. Who was cooler, Sean or Eric? And what sibling would you most want to be, I guess, or who would you most want as your sibling from any of the TGIF shows?
Wow, that's tough.
I can handle this quickly. Because I fucking hate Eric. I think Eric is a feathered little bitch.
Wow.
Whoa.
I have 2 older brothers that I will go to the grave with. They're the best older brothers you could ask for. Eric is an older brother. You suck. Give me Sean Hunter. Give me the friend with the troubled past. the bad boy, the leather jacket, the fucking great hair, the confidence. So that's a slam dunk. And then as a brother, give me Cody. Give me Cody from Step by Step. I said that earlier when we brought it up. We talk about this a lot in the Chicago office, like buying beer when you were in high school, like throwing house parties and stuff. Cody will break you in.
Yeah. No, yeah, Cody was definitely the older guy who'd show you the ropes. So I would agree with the Cody sentiment. And I got to tell you, Carl, prior to hearing what you just said, it was really kind of a toss-up. But now you make me kind of lean towards Sean because there were certain seasons where Eric was like a real big idiot. He kind of had a weird arc on the show. In the beginning, he was like the older brother who didn't care. And then he kind of transitioned to kind of the goofy idiot. So I think I'm going to go Sean.
Historically speaking, Corey's significantly more mature than Eric is throughout that show.
I was going to say Corey might be my pick for what sibling I want. Like Corey likes sports. He was enough to stay out of the way, but cool enough to kind of keep you around. My only complaint would be, would he rat on you like he did with Sean with drinking?
Clem. How's that ball taste?
I'm not a Boy Meets World fan, so I'm just kind of learning about the show from you guys right now. This is fucked up. This is why I think I wasn't a Boy Meets World guy. It's because I chose the Savage Brother. It was Fred. I was a Wonder Years guy because I was a little older. So I was always like, I always felt like I'm watching his kid brother. This guy's like 8 years younger than Fred.
Yeah.
Me and Winnie Cooper were the ones going out. You know, you talk about fucking bad brothers. Fucking the older Arnold brother. He was a real Wayne.
Wayne was a dick.
How about the Savage Brothers? There's no better brother in history with a significant other than Topanga and Winnie Cooper.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, would you rather have Wayne Arnold as your older brother, or would you rather have Paul Schaefer as your best friend, knowing he turns into Marilyn Manson? Because that's just an X factor.
That's a good question. Have you seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Yeah.
Oh, I got nightmares from it.
Years.
Marge.
He's a dick in that too. Remember?
He is a dick in
brother.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, the 80s and early 90s had some just like A+ dick guys who were just the epitome of assholes and were typecast and crushed the role every time. Rooney, the principal from Ferris Bueller, he kind of everything from Chicago, man. That's why I always had I'd never been to Chicago until I was probably in my 20s, and I had such a warm love of Chicago. And every fucking movie and show had just incredible, actors, characters, whatever you want to call it, and theme songs. Another one, Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. I mean, Twist and Shout. I sing it all the time.
I'm sure that does that get old for you, Chicago guys? Though, whenever you meet people, we're asking you, what part of Chicago is that from? Did you guys get that at all, or is that really just me making that up in my head right now?
No, because it's to us, it's really cool and stuff shot here because it's not LA, it's not New York, so it's I don't know. I guess you take pride. It's fucking sweet that John Hughes, everything is here. It's mostly in the suburbs, but I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Ed, we still got to go deep on John Hughes, a little deeper than we already went that one time.
Yeah, we went deep the one time.
But what I will say about the Savage Brothers, something they do have in common, both of their series finales make me cry. Both the Wonder Years and Boy Meets World will bring a tear to my eye.
What part of Boy Meets World makes you cry? The classroom?
No, yeah, the very end where he dismisses the class and that's it.
Yeah. What's the saddest series finale for you?
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. Yeah, we got to throw that. We got to put that on real quick. We got to just.
That's what made me think of it was the dinosaurs ending.
I never saw this. I didn't see this live, and Dinosaurs was one of my favorite shows ever. But yeah, man, this is tough. This is really tough to see.
It's not TGI. It's not TGIF. But what about the ending of Sopranos? Do you guys think Tony Soprano died?
Yeah, go ahead, Clem.
No, I choose to believe he's alive just because I really want him to be alive. It's one of those things where it's I choose your own adventure kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
I was listening to you guys talk about it the other day, and Carl, I don't know if it was you or Chief or who it was, but how they said the reason he left it open was just so you could appreciate it from either end. You could appreciate it if you thought he died or appreciate it if he lived.
Yeah, who was on what side out of Chicago? Who was on the dead side versus alive side?
Eddie and I are alive. Chief and White Sox Dave are dead.
Okay.
I say alive too. I think he was alive.
That says a lot about those two, I think, though. I mean, if you were to tell me who would have picked that out
Right.
before you, I think that would have been my choice,
The
unfortunately.
guy who's known for the tinfoil hat and White Sox Dave.
Yeah, Chief is stone cold. He'll shut the book.
He'll fucking he'll close the casket on him.
I'm dead set that he's alive, and maybe that's for a different stream. Sorry, I'm gonna keep going.
No.
Riggs. You know how I get. I haven't had a couple beers.
That's fine. I haven't listened to the pod yet. Did you guys read that infamous page where it's like a billion fucking pages long on the internet where it's like all the different symbolism and all the shit that was popping off? Did you guys read that? Because
I didn't read it, but White Sox Dave almost read it for us to his word for word the other day on fucking radio. But give him credit because he's like doing it, and you'd think like he was the one doing the investigative work, but like he was right, But for his memory is incredible, and like this is why he is. Is he 3-3 now? I think in the White Sox Dave trivia thing, he's almost 4-2.
At 3-3 on Thursday night's show. Yeah.
Yeah. So like people are like you'd be stuck. His mind is like a steel trap. Like he doesn't forget shit. He just has trouble sometimes. Like I don't know.
Yeah, he's one of a kind.
He's one of a kind. We love him. We love him.
By the way, what a freaking sad scene just playing out right in front of us.
This is not the time should be watching this too, because it's like basically global warming happens. It's global cooling, right? Or it's climate change, I guess you could say. And it was like a hell of a way to like just hammer a children's series is they all die because they fucking poison the environment. Which, given the current world we're living in now, this is kind of the bummer we need. So let's end with this. Top three, Nate. Give us your top three. Gold, silver, bronze for the TGIF shows. I'll pull up the programming block one last time here, and we'll just kind of do a gold, silver, and bronze. We started off with what our favorites were, and we'll go from there. So kind of the original run here. All these. Carl, you start us off because I know you started with Family Matters is clearly your number one, right?
Yeah, so on my gold medals, I'll work backwards. My bronze medal is gonna go to Step by Step. My silver medal is gonna go to Boy Meets World. My gold medal is gonna go to Family Man. The thing I'd like to address is Full House. Obviously the most classic out of these shows. To me, I identified more that as a rerun show. I apologize.
Fair enough.
Don't apologize.
Had to.
I always thought Full House was on the jump. They were part of TGIF, but they were a little before it became TGIF too, which I didn't realize. So these Full House seasons are probably later in the run too. So that counts for something. All right, Eddie, let's hear your
bronze. I'm going to go Family Matters. Silver, I'll go Full House, and then I'm going to give the gold to Boy Meets World. Just similar age range, a lot of the school scenes with Mr. Feeney and Minkus and the boys. So probably related with that the most.
Minkus.
Cons?
Yeah, mine's going to be similar to Ed. Bronze is going to be Step by Step. But my silver will go to Full House just because that is probably my oldest memory of all the shows here. And then gold being Boy Meets World for the same reason. And, you make me cry at the end, then you're doing something right.
True. Riggs.
I have the same as Cons. Bronze is Step by Step. Silver, Full House. Gold, Boy Meets World. Remember, I grew up like an hour from Philly, so Boy Meets World, growing up with way too many people from York that thought they were from Philly, made it even more special. I almost threw Hanging with Mr. Cooper in there.
Oh yeah, Hanging with Mr. Cooper, he's there, but you do have a kind of a blind spot to him because he's kind of buried in that closer role. I have Family Matters with the bronze, and the only reason why is this is going to sound like such a hipster thing to say, but I think Urkel got too big for the show. I remember before it was the Urkel show. You know what I mean?
Actually, wait. Can I go back to what my bronze actually should be? It's two guys in a pizza hut. Two guys that are on a pizza place. Because that carried on through high school.
Oh, there you go. I guess that kind of counts, right? I'm going to go Family Matters just because it became the Urkel show. I thought it got a little ridiculous with the Urkel, Stefan, but this is an older person who was watching it through the older eyes at the time. And I was like, what, the fucking nerdy kid is like this fucking jack dude because he made himself a fucking time machine or some shit. I was so confused. I didn't know what was going on. Silver, again, I'm an old Perfect Strangers. That's my shit. Love the show. Love the theme song. Full House raised me as a child on Friday nights. So Full House, Danny Tanner was my TV dad. And it crushed me whenever I used to hear Bob Saget just tell the aristocrats joke and shit like that. That kind of like was the official end of my childhood. And I would say Dinosaurs is like also receiving votes though, because that I had the soundtrack to that show. I think the baby is one of the most hilarious, ridiculous characters in TV. Yeah, I'm not the mama. That was not the mama was kind of like the 1B to Bart's 1A. Bart Simpson ran shit back in schools. The baby had a run on top that I haven't seen outside of Bart Simpson basically ever. So he was the Clyde Drexler to the Michael Jordan of Bart Simpson, in my opinion. So I guess we'll shut it down now. Fellas, anything else to add? Anything you want to, any last words here?
No, thanks for having us. It was good to, talk some other shows besides the challenge. This was great.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. And honestly, I'm just so grateful that I had these shows to grow up on. I think there's just too much for the people to watch now. So like the fact that we can all connect on the same group of shows, I think is great.
Cons, that was like surprisingly sentimental. As if like we have an audience of like the producers for ABC. I just honorable mention, we didn't say it. By the way, Cons, I'm not trashing you. That's why I like you.
Yeah.
Let's FaceTime later.
Sounds
Quickly. Honorable mention for me is just Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah.
It was a coming of age thing. I made a Suzanne Summers sock joke earlier because, whatever, they get crusty, you got to clean them. That was a joke. It's not when I talk about Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm a huge MILF guy. If you guys follow my work, I've written a lot about MILFs before. Sure. Sabrina the Teenage Witch hit you with like a double MILF. This is before American Pie came out. They defined the MILF. So then when you go back and you're watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, you're like, wait a second. Aunt Hilda, big time MILF. So
good point.
And then obviously Melissa Joan Hart, she translated perfectly from Nickelodeon out of Clearson Explains It All, and it's Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And she's curvy. She's curvy. She's a milky Midwestern girl, and I grew up with her, and I love her, and I just want to say that.
I think that's perfect last words right there. Kind of the milk. And you got to give her credit too. She's probably one of the rare people, and maybe the only one as a lead that was able to lead a SNICK show and a TGIF show, and Clarissa and Sabrina. That's and both kind of weird, different names, Clarissa and Sabrina. So I guess shout out Melissa Joan Hart. Wake us up with Melissa Joan Hart one of these days, Carl. Would that kill you?
No, hey, I'm working on it. Tomorrow morning, I'll see you guys.
I got Eddie to wake us up with a Lisa Loeb after the challenge the other day. I'm here asking my guys.
Eddie thought Lisa Loeb's stay was one word. He thought it was Lisa, first name Lisa, last name Loeb stay, instead of like Lisa Loeb sings stay.
Lisa Loeb is stop.
She's not looking that bad these days, Eddie. I'll just say that. She's looking pretty good these days. All right, so we're going to let Carl go to his own little world now and, goes down his Lisa Loeb rabbit hole. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Anything to add, Riggs?
No, thanks again for coming on. Make sure you guys tune in to Chicago. You guys are coming on Sunday night with your guys' recap of The Last Dance again on Dog Walk.
Yep, yes, episode 7 and 8. Tune in. Barstool Chicago Twitter, me, Carl, and we'll just be shooting the shit after the episode.
Cons, you have Zero Blog 30. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe to that. Clem has Podfathers, and then me, Clem, Eddie, and Cons all have No Quitters. So rate, review, subscribe to all those.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, guys, they're cute. You can wait.
Class dismissed.
I wonder what he was getting. He got all emotional there.
Scotty, come here. Some of that sweet action, buddy. Come here.
Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. See you next Friday.
Yeah.
Don't know what we'll be doing next, but we'll figure it out.
Come here, buddy.